What up, everyone? George Langabeer here. First and foremost, I want to tell you that I miss you. I miss doing this. I miss providing content for you, smart home, security, all of it. I miss you terribly. I want to say thank you for the support that I've received. For those of you that don't know, I was diagnosed with cancer at the beginning of October. I've been fighting through that, and this is going to be an update about that, but I want to tell you that I cannot thank you enough for the support in the comments, the prayers, and everything. It's been crazy. In my last video, you almost got me crying. I haven't cried since I was 10, but you almost got me. This one, I'm going to try to get through this a little easier, but man, thank you, and keep those comments coming, especially for those of you that have been through this. You've been so helpful. The warriors out there that have had things much worse than me, cancer that has torn apart their family, whatever it may be. It's been so inspiring to hear your stories. Keep those coming, please. And thank you from the bottom of my heart for all the support. With that being said, I wanted to give this update because there have been so many of you that have been concerned about me. Plus, I just miss being on YouTube for all of you. I can't wait to get back to our normal content. We'll talk about that at the end. But an update. So again, diagnosed on October 5th. Been trying to figure out my best course of action. Gone through some doctor's visits and visits with surgeons and all of that. I was supposed to have an MRI. In my last video, I was talking about that. I was actually supposed to have two. Luckily, one of those MRIs had been canceled, but I did try one, and unfortunately, it didn't go so well. They put me in the smallest tube imaginable, and for any of you that have been in an MRI, you know how horrible it is. And for me, my size, I have since found out that there's a bigger tube, which is what we're going to try on Tuesday, which I'll talk about in a second. Man, I tried this MRI, and I had to get out after about 15 minutes. I've never had a problem with small spaces, but it was crazy. But I mean, I couldn't even move my arms if I wanted to, and knowing I was going to have to be in there for 30 minutes, it got to me. So I'm a fighter, and I'm going to beat this thing. But man, I felt so stupid, and I was so apologetic. And the lovely nurses told me how normal it is, and it happens to people all the time. So the next time, it's not going to happen again. But for any of you out there that have gone through MRIs, I have another one on Tuesday. Send those tips on how you got through it, please. Okay, so the deal is that when you have colon cancer, which is what I have, you don't want it to spread to your lungs or your liver. That's where it goes first, and that's where it gets nasty, and that's where you have stage 4, and that's your least survival rate. Now, in the initial CAT scan that I had, and what they did find in the MRI and the colonoscopy itself, they determined that my lungs are fine, but I had a couple spots on my liver, and they're mildly concerned, but they think they're going to be normal. In fact, they told me if I didn't have cancer, they wouldn't even worry about them. But they're going to check those out with an MRI this week and make sure those liver spots are normal. If they're normal, that means I do not have stage 4 cancer, and that's a wonderful thing. So then they also have noticed through this process that I had some inflamed or enlarged lymph nodes. Lymph nodes are right outside your colon. That's how this stuff spreads. Lymph nodes can spread all sorts of cancer. They're nasty little suckers. By the way, I've tried so hard to censor myself because on my normal YouTube videos, I can't use profanity. On some of these, I've let the expletives fly on my cancer updates. I promise YouTube, when I get back to being monetized in my normal videos, I'll be good. But anyway, the lymph nodes are a problem. So I've got a couple enlarged. So what they do is on Thursday, I'm going to have the surgery to remove a foot of my colon. We got quite a bit of colon in us, so I'm not going to miss a foot. They take the colon, the tissue around the colon, and then a few of the lymph nodes, including those enlarged ones. They make sure there's not cancer in those lymph nodes. If there's cancer in the lymph nodes, then I have stage 3, and we can still combat that with chemo, still a great survival rate, still good to go, just a little bit more of a process. If there's no cancer in those lymph nodes, they basically take out the colon, the part of the cancer in my colon, and it should be good. And then I have 4 to 6 weeks of recovery after that surgery. In addition to the surgery just being the surgery, that's also where they start to dissect this thing and send it to the experts and check out the tumor and the lymph nodes and make sure it hasn't spread or anything like that. So the surgery itself is very important to get it out of there and also to examine to see what the stage is after the fact. But that's where I'm at. MRI on Tuesday to check out the liver, make sure that's normal, rules out stage 4. So prayers and hopes and good vibes to that. And then the surgery on Thursday. Now, all this started with a colonoscopy. I've said in the other video some of the symptoms I was having, why I thought I had a problem. I got a colonoscopy. I am 48 years old. You're supposed to get it at 45. Now, it has pretty much been determined that this colonoscopy from everything that's being gathered by all these experts of my case, that this colonoscopy probably saved my life. So I cannot tell you how important it is to get a colonoscopy if you are over 45 years old. Does not matter if you're a man or a woman. Now, I've talked about how much they suck, and I want to clarify. I want to get this very clear. The colonoscopy itself is not bad. You go in, they give you some lovely little drugs. The nurses are fantastic. You fall asleep. I didn't even know what happened. In fact, when I woke up, I thought I just fell asleep for a while. No, it was over. It's like, wow, that was nothing. But it's the prep. If you've had one, you know it's the prep that sucks. Now, on Wednesday, I have to go through that same prep for the surgery coming up. And follow me on Instagram if you want to see what it's all about, because I'm going to try to share as much of that as possible so you can really see what it's all about, because I really want to encourage you to get a colonoscopy. And again, this is for the surgery, but it's the same exact prep that I did for the colonoscopy. So check that out. I'm going to show you, I'm not going to go in the bathroom with the camera or anything, but I'm going to show you the jug and everything I'm doing to prepare, because that's what happens. You take this horrible jug of stuff for several hours. It makes you completely clean out your system. And by clean out your system, I think you know what I'm talking about. You're in the bathroom nonstop for a few hours. Again, I'm not going to share that part, but check us out on Instagram, because I want to spread awareness on the importance of this, because I think it saved my life and it could save other lives. And I've heard similar stories in the comments that have said the same thing. And I've also heard that people have got colonoscopies because of my last 2 videos, and that's awesome. So thank you for doing that. So anyway, I wanted to give this update. As far as the channel goes, I'm going to give this update right now, the one we're on. This is a Sunday, November 6th, MRI on Tuesday, surgery on Thursday. After the surgery, as soon as I physically can, I'm going to give you an update as to how that went, and I'm hoping that's it for the cancer talk. Obviously, it's a very important subject to everybody involved in my life, but I would love to get back to normal, and I'm going to. This is going to be the channel that you all grew to know and love and have subscribed for and come back for more. And I thank you so much for that support, and how we've all become lifelong friends, like I said before, because you've been so supportive, people across the world praying for me and sharing their love. It's overwhelming and wonderful. But anyway, we will be back with an update after the surgery. And then as soon as I get into this recovery and see how it goes, I will be stuck here at home with all my smart home devices and all my brain thinking about security. So I'm hoping I can spend that time making some more content, because that's not too stressful. That's not lifting over 10 pounds or whatever my restrictions may be. So I hope to be back sooner than later. As far as SilverHammer goes, as I said before, I'm not going to be able to do installs and service calls, but basically this week is going to be a little strenuous on the health just because of the surgery and everything. But right back to next week, I'm still going to be answering the phone, all you people calling across the country about alibi systems and things like that, all my customers locally. I might not be able to do much for you physically, but I'll be back to answering the phone, because, I mean, I'm used to working my whole life. I've had 2 jobs basically for years now. I'm going to be bored out of my mind. So, number 1, call me if you're interested in anything like that. Number 2, keep the comments coming, because I'm going to be answering and chatting with you, because it's helped me so much through this process stay positive, and each prayer and thought has given me so much strength. So thank you. Thank you. All right, that's it. MRI, surgery, recovery. Then I'm back. I'm back. And I'm back better than ever. Goddamn right I will be. Until the next update. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for sticking with me. I'm not going anywhere. Until next time, peace and love.